Today we're going to be doing an educational video on the shrine. Now, this week's shrine is actually, it's not too bad, so let's go through it. First perk's going to be Buckle Up. This is an Ashley Teachable. What does it allow you to do? Basically, when a teammate of yours, as a survivor, is in dying state, their aura will change color. It's just how intense the color is. It'll be like a lime green when it's fully ready, and it will be like a darker green when it's not. It basically changes the intensity of a teammate's aura depending on how close they are to being recovered. If they're very close to being recovered, they'll be glowing a bright green or a lime green, and if they're not nearly recovered, they'll be more of a darker green. Also, when you heal that survivor from dying state, you're going to be able to see the killer's aura for 4 seconds. Not a great perk. It does rely on the killer slugging or leaving some of your teammates on the ground to bleed out for you to be able to maximize the benefit you can get from it. Now, the next perk we're looking at is chlorophobia. Chlorophobia is basically whatever is in your heartbeat as killer, they will heal slower at 30, 40, and 50%. It does stack with Sloppy Butcher and Thanatophobia if you wanted to run both of those perks with it. I do not like this perk at all. I think it's easily outweighed by Sloppy Butcher. Sloppy Butcher gives you 8 seconds additional towards a survivor forcing self-care on themselves, putting them at 40 seconds, which is technically half of a generator if they choose to heal themselves, and Sloppy Butcher works regardless of where you are on the board. Chlorophobia only works when you're within the heartbeat of the killer. Can be enhanced through things like distressing, as well as if a Legion is running the add-on that allows him to have a heartbeat that covers the whole board. That will work with both Unnerving Presence, it'll work with Chlorophobia, and Overwhelming Presence. Moving on to the next perk, we got Hex Third Seal. Now, Hex Third Seal is basically when you hit a survivor, you apply the blindness effect at tier 3, keeping in mind it is a Hex perk, therefore it is a totem perk. When the totem is destroyed, it is gone for the game, unless you have Hex Undying. If you have Hex Undying, it'll reset back to 0 tokens. Every time you hit a survivor for the first time, you receive a token. Has to be through an M1 as well, therefore a hatchet through a Huntress will not apply the effect. Has to be directly through an M1, not even a chainsaw from a Hillbilly or Leatherface. When a survivor is hit, they will receive the blindness effect, which means their aura reading abilities will not work. For example, Plunder's Instinct will not work because that is an aura reading ability. Object will not work for the survivor, but will still work for the killer. If I had Object and I was hit by the killer and I look at the killer, I would not be able to see his aura, he would be able to see mine. However, I can look at the bottom right hand side of the screen and see for the eye flashing, which indicates the killer can see you and you can see the killer. That is how you use Object of Obsession against a Ghostface, for example. Moving back on, if we're going to any form of aura reading ability will be hindered, including hooking a survivor. When a survivor is initially hooked, they'll make a scream, revealing their location, but then the survivors have to remember where that person is on the hook if everybody's under this Hex Third Seal. It's a great perk, don't get me wrong, it's really fun. However, at the same time, it is easily outweighed by things like Devour Hope, Hex Ruin, Hex Undying combo, more gen protection, because generally generators do get done at a very quick rate nowadays. Moving on to the next perk, we're looking at Sprint Burst. Sprint Burst allows you to run at 150% movement speed for 3 seconds. It is a teachable unlocked by Megan. It has a 60, 50, and 40 second cooldown, respectively, for Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. I do not recommend buying this perk. I recommend leveling Megan if you want to learn how to run away from the killer anyways, because she'll come with Quick and Quiet at level 30. Level 35, she'll come with Sprint Burst, and a level 40 she'll come with Adrenaline. So she has some great choices on the table as well if you choose to level her, as opposed to Nia and Feng Min. That also being said, that's going to be all for this week's Shrine, guys. If you enjoyed this educational, informative Shrine video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do educational, informative DVD killer and survivor content 5 days a week. If you guys want to tune into the live streams, it'll be a pleasure to have you guys over there. Anyways, thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you in the fog in the next video. Have a good one.